Typically, you'll want the numbering of your parcels to follow some sort of sequence or pattern, and rarely are your parcels created in that order. So at some point you'll need to renumber them. Let's see how this is done. You'll be happy to know that you don't have to do it one parcel at a time. This is a fairly small development. Imagine renumbering the parcels for a development that had 5,000 lots in it. You certainly wouldn't want to do that one at a time. So how do you do it? Well, I'm going to start by clicking on one of the parcels to bring up the contextual menu. And before we actually get into renumbering them, let's talk about our plan. What I'd like to do is start here at parcel 1 and renumber in this direction. So this will be 2, 3, 4, and so on. Kind of wrap it around and back down in this direction, and we'll end the numbering here. Now, there's no set rule about how to number parcels. You just typically want some sort of order or sequence to them. And that's what I'm choosing to do with this particular development. So from here, with the contextual menu available, all I'm going to do is click Renumber, Rename. And I'm only interested in the renumber part of this. So I'm going to set my starting number to 1. I want the first parcel that I select to be 1. And I want each parcel that's renumbered to go up 1 based on the one before it. Now, it's pretty rare, but there might be cases where you want to increment by 2 if you want all the odd parcels on one side and even on the other, or something like that. But typically, you're going to pick your starting number and pick your increment value, and that's going to be 1. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And now is where it gets a little bit strange in that the way that you select the parcels is kind of like an AutoCAD fence. And that may be odd to you too, because that's not even one of the most common ways of selecting in AutoCAD. So let's just talk about how to select these parcels. You're going to start by picking anywhere inside of the first parcel, and then drawing a series of line segments through the other parcels in the direction that you want to renumber. And what's important here is that you pass through each of the parcels that you want to renumber. So you want to be careful that you don't skip over one of the bends, or maybe do something like this where you're not crossing through all of the parcels. You want to be careful that you pick enough points on your line that you're accurately crossing through all of the parcels that you want to renumber. When you get to the last one, you simply click inside of it, and even though it's prompting me for another point, and it'll keep going as long as I let it, I'm going to press Enter to end the selection sequence, and then I'll press Enter again to actually kick off the renumbering process. Now, depending on how many parcels you've selected, it may pause for a few seconds to calculate and regenerate. That was pretty quick. Let's see if it did what we hoped. And look at that. That's parcel number 1, and you're definitely going to want to check your results. Make sure you didn't skip one, or didn't think about the numbering sequence in the right way, or something of that nature. So I'm just quickly scanning through and making sure it did what I wanted, and we can see here that it ended at parcel 43. So now I want to do my next block of parcels. Maybe we'll start here and kind of do the same clockwise motion. So I'll start here, go around this way, and look, we're getting into another section here. So I may want to pick a starting point or a stopping point up here to wrap this back around. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually start here at number 44 and bring it up to the cul-de-sac and wrap it back around this way and end at whatever this happens to be. So once again, I'll select a parcel, I'll launch the Renumber Rename command, and look, it even remembered my last parcel so that I can pick up where I left off. So if you choose your blocks of parcels in order, you can take advantage of it remembering what your last parcel number was. So again, I'll just click OK and pick through, being very careful in that I draw my line segments through the parcels that I want to renumber. And in fact, I'm going to zoom in a little more closely here to make sure I pass through the parcels in the order that I want them renumbered. When I get to the last one, I press Enter and Enter again, and Civil 3D will renumber all the parcels. I'll press Escape to cancel the selection, and here we started at 44 and we ended at 85. So I would just continue around the development, renumbering blocks of parcels until I had everything renumbered the way I liked it. So there you have it. As you might guess, renumbering parcels is pretty important, so it's a good thing that Civil 3D makes it fairly easy.